Hey everybody, welcome to Sled Talk, where we love to talk everything snowmobiling. I'm Rob Reed.
I'm Steve Glass.
And we are going to cover everything from pulling the cord to pulling your hair out as we get into the world of snowmobiling. So Steve, you just spent the weekend doing something that was a first annual.
Yes.
What was it?
Our first annual turf drags at the farm at the lake.
And how did that go?
It was a lot of fun, actually. It all started, we were just moving we have a 93 Formula MX 470 and a 95 470. So they're very, there should be the same kind of machines.
Right.
And we were moving them out to the farm to store them. And we decided to set up a race course and spend the afternoon racing them. And it was pretty cool. The older one could actually hook up out of the hole better, and the newer one could usually try to run it down.
Right.
So it was neat. We were putting different people on them, and it was kind of a misty day. So they were actually super well lubricated, and they were running a nice temperature all day, and it was...
I was going to ask you about the lube for the sliders first off, because I remember back when we used to drag race with another buddy of ours, and he had hooked up all kinds of crazy things to add lube to his sliders when he was dragging.
Yeah. No, it was good. There was enough water on the grass. Like, the ground was wet enough. We were getting wet, sloppy grass in our sliders, and there was no drag at all.
Okay, well, that's good.
The old 93 that was the first snowmobile I ever bought new, that's been in our family forever, again beat me 2 out of 3 times on my newer MXC.
You should have kept that one.
I should have maybe kept that.
Being such a high performer for a 470.
I told Bill I was bringing mine home and doing some clutch work.
Right on. So here's a question for you. When does a sled become vintage? Like, what is the year that, we get into conversations with people online, and we're posting on some vintage sites, and we appreciate everyone that shares and does all the great stuff with that, and the admins that allow us to put these shows up. But sometimes they don't realize that there's vintage in there because maybe the clip is something newer. Yeah. But what makes a sled a vintage sled? Like, is it 1985?
Technically, I think it's 25 years. Some will say maybe 20, but 25 years or older, right? And the younger guys will probably all think that's true because that seems really old. To me, it almost needs to have leaf springs still. But there's almost like there's vintage, 25 years and older, and then there's the leaf spring vintage stuff.
So the more ancient, archaic.
Yeah, like my 83 over there with the pogo stick, the Yamaha with the pogo stick front end. Some people won't consider that vintage because it doesn't have the leaf springs.
Because I was wondering, because you think about that now, 25 years is like a 2000 model year sled.
Yeah, I know, that's what I mean.
And those are still pretty nice.
I know, and it
sleds.
Doesn't seem the slightest bit old.
No,
to me.
Yeah.
My cousin was pretty insulted a few years ago when he thought his 98 was considered vintage. So, I don't know. I really think it's the old leaf spring stuff there's no argument that's vintage.
You know what? It'd be great to have people weigh in on this one because I'd like to know what a true vintage sled is.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus an antique.
Yeah, that's true. When I go antique, I'm thinking late 60s. It's my head.
Okay, I was into the 70s myself, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So, great weekend.
Yep.
Grass drags.
Yep.
Next year, maybe more than 2 sleds?
I think maybe we'll try because we want to haul a few more out there anyways, right?
Okay.
So it'd be nice to have at least one, we had my cousin from Toronto who's a big city guy. He was actually spent about half his time racing sleds out there too.
So he was having a ball.
It would be fun to put him on something a little bit, you're on 470s, they're pretty safe. They felt like they were going pretty fast, but on video they look pretty slow. But it would be nice to have my 800 triple out next year.
Right.
And just let someone try it, but give them some directions. The problem we had with our courses, it was like we had to go on the left side of a big round hay bale, and then at the finish line we had to split a hay bale. So, and then there was a hill on it too.
Yeah, a bit of a dip there.
It was a bit of a dip. So if we get the big sleds out, I think we should get hay bales out of the way.
Right. Yes, if you can, that would be a great idea.
I know, yeah.
I'm thinking hitting one of those.
Oh yeah, that
is not just a showstopper; it's a sled stopper.
It is. It would. You're not moving those things.
Yeah. So I'd like to talk about some national news, what's going on here in the country, and some stuff that I saw recently that really didn't make me real happy to see. From Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, all through that area, they are cutting back on their trail systems.
Really?
Big time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, cutting back, cutting out a lot of major trails. Problem, I guess, is they are just having a hard time finding the funding to keep these trails maintained and operational.
Or is it volunteers?
Well, it is a lot of volunteers, but as you know, Steve, trail, the groomers themselves don't run on love.
That's true. I mean,
Signs don't run on love. You can say that it's volunteers, but guys are out either early season or maybe out on quads right now with their chainsaws, clearing trails because trees have fallen. A lot of money goes into it. And if you're adding a trail, all the work that goes into clearing and making that trail nice and smooth and enjoyable for people to ride. So quite a few of them going out there. Now, Kenora, I just read this, is holding their trail pass prices from last year to this year. So no price increase.
How much is it?
I can't remember. It's a couple $100.
It is it's more than ours, right?
It's more than ours. It's a couple $100, but their trails out there are really, really nice. If you get a chance in the Kenora area, and there's a lot of people here in Manitoba that go across the border, get on that pipeline trail. It is a ball. It is one of the most fun trails you'll ever be on.
It would be nice if they would do something like we have with Saskatchewan, where we can ride their trails and they can ride our trails.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That's a negotiation, I'm going to say, a little above our pay grades, But so Kenora's holding their trail pass prices from last year, but the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs, which is about 8 or 10 clubs, a group of, over the last 3 years has put $61 million into their trail systems.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money, and they're just finding it still, even with that amount of money, hard to maintain everything they've got, and these clubs are struggling. So something to really think about. But talking about trails here in Manitoba, in the St. Agathe area, which is the Woodridge area where the fires went through this year, the club out there had lost their warm-up shack, burned to the ground. And this time it wasn't kids being idiots. It was an actual forest fire. So they've now rebuilt it. So I'm going to tell people, if you get a chance to ride in that area, there are some fantastic trails. I've ridden it a few times. They're going to have a nice new off-the-grid warm-up shack in that area. Solar power, and obviously wood, heat, and all the good stuff that comes with it. But you get a chance to get out there, enjoy the area, enjoy a couple of the restaurants, enjoy the warm-up shack, just have a good time out on the snow. Because those are things we really need to be enjoying, different, not just the same route. It's easy, Steve, to go across the road here from your place and get on the trail and hit the warm-up shack that's just up the road here from us.
Remember, our shack burned down, and it's been rebuilt too. So
it happens. It happens. But get out and try new trails. I guess that's kind of where I'm going with that. And they have a lovely new trail or a new shack out there. Get out and enjoy it. Steve, what do you got for us for a tech tip?
Hot-cold compression on a motor.
Okay.
It's super common for guys if they're looking to buy a sled or checking their own sled just to do a quick cold compression test on it and see what they got. It's a good idea if you're buying a machine, but it doesn't really tell you everything.
Right.
I've had snowmobiles roll in here, especially if you have a snowmobile. I've had a customer say their sled starts good when it's cold, and then it's super hard to start when it's warm.
Right.
That's one thing for sure.
So what's going on there?
Well, I've had snowmobiles come in here where you do a cold compression test, and it might be like 120 a cylinder, which is nice. And then at operating temperatures, one cylinder might lose 30 pounds. And it could be a worn out motor. I had a snowmobile where every time it got hot, the sleeve would start going up and down in the cylinder. Stuff like that. Yeah. So the proper thing, if you're buying a snowmobile and you really want to know what it's like, or if you're having that problem where it's hard to start hot, start it up, run it for 30 seconds, do a compression test. Record your results, and I'm just going to say 120 as an example. And then
anything over 110 on a two-stroke?
You know what? I have a customer that brings me a sled every year that's 100 pounds on the nose every year, and it runs fine. But I would think at least like over 110, 120 is pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Under 100's starting to give you grief.
Right.
So do your compression test. Run it 30 seconds, do your compression test, record the results. You don't want to have more than, say, 5, I'm not sure what people are going to say, 5 or 10% between cylinders. If we're talking around 120, I don't want to see more than 115, 120.
Right.
Then fire it up, run it up to operating temperature, get it all heated up, make sure the coolant's flowing, the engine's up to where it should be running. Do another compression test. And that's where you'll find if you have a problem. If your compression shouldn't drop. If it drops say 5 to 7 pounds, then that's indicating bad rings maybe.
Right.
If it drops 10 or more pounds, then you're looking at piston rings. And I believe it was one of your snowmobiles, your little sport there, where we did the compression test cold, that was good.
Right.
And then warm, one cylinder dropped under 100 pounds, dropped down to
Yeah,
about
it
90
did.
pounds.
We did, and we ended up putting a piston in it.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
you know.
But it's a good indicator for how worn a motor is. If you're looking to buy one, it's a really good indicator just how much wear is on the motor. And if you're trying to troubleshoot a problem where it's hard to start hot, it's a
Right.
good test to do.
Would a cold seas show up doing that? If someone had done a cold
Probably
seas,
would. It probably would, because a lot of times the cold seas the ring will free up again, and the engine will start running. But you've hurt that cylinder a little bit, right? So you should see something. You should see a loss of compression when it gets hot for sure.
right? So that way you might know that you're buying somebody else's problem.
But if it cold seas, but there's no loss of compression, there's probably really not much damage to worry about. So
Yeah, but those are on a timeline,
yeah,
and a very short one.
yeah. But I mean, and you know, you never know what you're going to get. But I mean, just doing any compression test on a sled if you're buying it is a good idea.
Yeah.
Right. But if you can get a chance to run it and heat it up and then do another compression test, that'll really tell you if your motor's hurt, you know, or if it needs a cylinder or it needs a piston or
What's happening.
Yeah.
A good indication of a number of things. It could be anything from, I'll say your crank seals could be leaking a little bit as they're warming up. Would that show up there, do you
It
think?
might if it started to lean that cylinder out and hurt that cylinder a little bit.
Yeah.
Bad crank seals typically, it might sound okay at revving, but it'll sound like it's lagging down into one cylinder if it's leaking bad enough.
Yeah. Because it's not going to really affect your compression, but
Not until it starts hurting it.
yeah.
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 Yeah. So hot, cold compression, always good to do that rather than just a cold compression test.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, the beginning of this season, I started talking about what was he thinking, right?
Yeah.
And we've shared a couple things on that one already. Because let's face it, the the world is full of morons. So there is a club down in the States, and the club president has now been charged with having stolen $17,000 from the club. Wow. Writing himself checks, just taking cash advances, bought himself a new sled with some of the money. But can you imagine the feeling as a club?
Yeah.
You have been paying your dues. You have been fundraising.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hard, flogging tickets, having bake sales, swap meets,
whatever, yeah, for
whatever you're doing. Like, you're
and
busting your ass to make money.
Yeah.
To keep this club going and to make an enjoyable winter for people. To find out that the president of all people has ripped you off.
Right. Yeah.
God, I'd just be devastated.
Yeah.
The guy has since pleaded guilty, and I guess he's making restitution. But the point is, and again,
Especially a club, it's like a family.
yeah. And typically of most clubs, you have a nucleus of people that are very active, and then you've got a lot of people that mail it in, and you need both.
Yep.
You need both, but. As you say, that nucleus gets pretty tight. Those people really get to know each other.
Don't you usually have a treasurer?
You normally would have a treasurer, and this is where, if you're in a club and you're not having an AGM, which should include a financial report with bank statements, so that's what the treasurer should be doing, amongst other things. But if you're not having an AGM, have one. Can't say it enough. Have an AGM. And make sure that everyone is being held accountable.
Yep.
Yes, you're friends. You know what? Nothing.
It's run like a business.
It is run like a business, and nothing keeps friendships together like a good contract and holding people accountable for their positions in the club.
Yeah.
Because this happens.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And I wanted to do a follow-up on the very first one, what was he thinking? We talked about that guy that had the animal cruelty guy with the wolf and all the horrible things he did.
Yeah.
So I got a little update. He has now been charged with a felony animal cruelty charge, I guess however they work it. He's facing $5,000 fine, 2 years in jail, or both as a max.
Deserves it.
Yeah, 100%. I hope he gets both.
Yeah.
I really hope he gets both.
5,000 fines, no big deal, but a couple of years or even a year in jail.
Oh, that was that changes your attitude in a hurry.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to go back to our first episode of this season and have a listen.
Yeah.
That was what we were talking about with that guy in the animal cruelty. It's just a horrible situation, and I just hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hear about that, little people chasing bunny rabbits and things.
Yeah, for sure. Steve, what have you got for a product for us?
Storage bags.
Okay, and you happen to have one right here.
That's my favorite one because it's just small and little and it goes in your handlebars. It'll hold a couple canned drinks. It'll hold your registration. It'll hold your wallet or whatever you need, sunglasses, whatever you want to have with you. It's on your handlebars. It's out of your way. I use that on my sleds. I have one on my bike, my dirt bike, whatever I'm using. And then tank bags are a big deal. Like, I don't know if you ever use tank bags. I used to have tank bags on my sleds all the time, but it was just I found them a little hard to hold in place.
Right.
And I mean, saddle bags if you're going on big trips, right? But I like the little handlebar bags for just holding just enough stuff. It's not in your wallet. You can unclip it, take it in with you if you want.
Yeah, well, now that I don't have a daughter sitting in front of me anymore with her little Mohawk helmet, so that I used to take a piece of foam and I made it look like a Mohawk on a white helmet so that when the helmet was hitting mine, it just didn't drive me crazy anymore. And if you remember, she was pretty cute with that little thing. Yep. But she needed a place to hang on to, so putting one of those would probably be restrictive.
Well,
but
now you know where to buy your handlebar storage bag for your
yeah, well, no, it looks like a pretty nice little bag.
Super well made. I've had these things for years, and I used to just swap one back and forth. It's on my quad in the summertime. It's on my Harley in the summertime. It goes on my sleds. It's just nice to hold. It's just what you want to hold.
Yeah, I know on the back of mine, I have a bag, and same thing with my daughter. She's got a bag on the back of hers as well, but we've never used the handlebar. But
this is really convenient because if you're just rolling up to a stop, it's right there for you, right? It's nice.
And going in to pay for gas or whatever, yeah.
Tank bags I used to like because you could keep a trail map.
Right, because it had to clear,
yeah, but that's not so important anymore.
Yeah, no, we've all got GPS and maps and all that sort of stuff. That's kind of the buggy whip sort of thing.
Yeah, and that'll hold a trail map if you want to have one with you too. So,
right on.
That's my thing. Storage bags, storage.
That's it. Okay, right on. All right, anyone, if you're looking to upgrade, and we've talked about this before, Steve's a big parts guy as well, not just service and repairs. So if you need gear, equipment, or otherwise, don't be afraid to get in touch with him for these sort of things, because
I keep those in stock. I like them.
Yeah. Also. It's amazing the amount of stuff that you have available to you that you can make
available that I can have in 2 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Okay, everybody. Well, you know what? Snowmobiling, I'll get it right, snowmobiling is all about performance, and Performance Supply is all about making sure you have a great snowmobiling season. So thank you everyone for spending some time with us today.
Thank you very much.